Welcome to today's roundup of major news from Zeer News 24. Today is Tuesday, the 24th of Saratan, 1404 in the solar Hijri calendar, corresponding to July 15th, 2025. I'm Pashtana Oria Khel, and here are the most important national and international updates. Headlines: UN calls for urgent action. UN envoy Rosa Otunbayeva urges the international community to address the plight of Afghan returnees. World Youth Skills Day. The European Union says Afghan girls deserve more opportunities, not more restrictions. 78 Palestinians killed in Gaza. As ceasefire talks stall, Israeli airstrikes continue. Boat capsizes in Indonesia. 7 rescued, 11 still missing. UN envoy Rosa Otunbayeva, during her visit to Islam Kala, warned that the sudden and involuntary return of Afghan refugees should be seen as a serious alarm for the international community. She said that Afghanistan, already struggling with severe drought, economic crisis, and poverty, cannot absorb the pressure of these returns. So far in 2025 alone, more than 1.3 million Afghans have returned, with 70% of the population living below the poverty line. The UN is calling for a coordinated approach to ensure humanitarian needs are met and that the return process remains safe, voluntary, and dignified. On the occasion of World Youth Skills Day, the European Union reaffirmed its support for Afghan youth. The EU emphasized that Afghan girls deserve more opportunities, not restrictions. Although it did not directly address girls' access to education, it stated that it supports local businesses and SMEs to foster youth innovation and employment. Since the ban on girls' education and women's work in public offices, many women have turned to small enterprises and local handicrafts. The World Food Programme, WFP, reports that Afghanistan is experiencing a severe drought. 19 provinces are affected, with Faryab being the hardest hit. Due to the loss of crops, grazing land, and water sources, many families have been forced to migrate. WFP has called for broad humanitarian action. The deputy head of the Afghan Railway Authority, Malawi Mohammed Ishaq Sahibzada, has visited China's Lanzhou International Dry Port. According to the Ministry of Public Works spokesperson, discussions focused on enhancing Afghan exports, developing the private sector, and expanding the Hairatan-Nebaba dry port. The China-Kyrgyzstan-Uzbekistan-Afghanistan railway corridor is already operational, facilitating containerized trade across the region. Renowned Pashto poet and outspoken social critic Matiullah Turab passed away yesterday following a heart attack. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, but doctors were unable to save him. His funeral was held in Jalalabad, where thousands attended. Matiullah Turab was known as a fearless and influential voice in modern Pashto literature. More than just a poet, he used his pen to challenge social injustice, poverty, class inequality, educational suppression, and political exploitation. His intellectual honesty and deep connection with ordinary people drew strong parallels to the philosophy of Michel Foucault. Turab believed that education, media, and law are often tools used by ruling elites to control public thought, and that such control must be intellectually resisted. His poetry went beyond emotion. It served as a platform for political awareness and social resistance. He spoke for the voiceless and the downtrodden. His works were never for fame, but for the message. Justice must be a human right, not a privilege for the powerful. Turab often said the educational system that predetermines the fate of a laborer's child while opening success only to the wealthy must be changed. He fearlessly declared that a poet should never remain silent, but must be the voice of conscience. Israeli airstrikes in Gaza have killed at least 78 Palestinians, with dozens more wounded. These attacks continue despite ongoing ceasefire negotiations. Civilians in Rafah, Khan Yunis, and Buraij camps have suffered the most. The UN has warned that fuel shortages have shut down health clinics and water treatment plants. The proposed humanitarian city in Rafah is being compared to a concentration camp. An Israeli missile strike has killed academic researcher Mai Azam along with her entire family in Gaza City. Palestinian officials called the strike a clear act of violence against civilians. In Indonesia, a boat capsized near the Mentawai Islands, leaving 7 rescued and 11 still missing. The vessel was carrying 18 people, including 10 government employees, when it sank on Monday morning. In Israel, the United Torah Judaism Party has exited Netanyahu's coalition over the issue of mandatory military conscription. The decision leaves the ruling bloc with only 61 seats. The controversy erupted after the Supreme Court ruled that religious students must be drafted. Political uncertainty has deepened. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing. Lavrov is attending the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's Foreign Ministers Summit, currently underway in Tianjin. The U.S. Supreme Court has allowed former President Donald Trump to reduce or defund the Department of Education. This decision could eliminate approximately 1,380 federal jobs. Critics argue it would harm low-income and disabled students, while Trump supporters say it promotes a smaller, more efficient government. In Helmand's Garmser district, Ariana Lucky Football Club won the local championship. The final match ended in a 0-0 draw, but Ariana won 4-3 in the penalty shootout. In Panjshir, Dara Youth FC claimed victory in the Alpha League final, defeating Akaban Perian FC 2-0. In Ghor, Badr Volleyball Club won the Tiura District Tournament by beating Salman Club 2-0 in the final. And internationally, in London, England defeated India by 22 runs in the third test match at Lord's, taking a 2-1 lead in the series. That concludes today's news bulletin. You can follow more reports and video features via our social media platforms on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Our page, Zeer News 24. Until tomorrow's bulletin, stay safe and goodbye.